So here we are back with game number 2 of No NK Neon Knights / No Keyboard, depending on what you believe is their actual name, versus dnL Esports. Game 1 is as usual up, and we're going to dive right into the bans here for game 2. Ophelia Parasite getting banned out by NK, and we're waiting for the second ban from dnL, but their first is Pestilence, of course. Pesty was first picked last time by the boys on dnL, and they did pretty well with it. Oath and Parasite, interesting that, they ban out two junglers in rapid succession. Clearly afraid of what the jungle can do, and perhaps less inclined to run a jungler themselves, of course, as they first took Rhapsody over that Tempest or Keeper of the Forest. Slot there over on dnL, the jungle player for that team, and he almost always does pick up a jungler. dnL, one of those teams that loves to run junglers. There's the Keeper, so that's probably going to be a jungle Keeper, unless, of course, NK passes up Tempest here, in which case they could see the Tempest-Keeper combination in Game 2. But we'll see if NK disallows that by picking up their own Tempest here. Cersei, the last ban there for dnL, not a surprise, as she does often get banned out in this initial banning stage. Teams just not willing to let the other side have her, and with NK having the first pick here at dnL, choosing to ban Cersei, and probably a good decision, as Rhapsody was first picked by Insania there, so clearly valuing support very highly, and if he had Cersei available, there's a reasonable chance he would have picked it up. So I like that ban from dnL. Tempest is in fact the second pick from the guys over there on NK, and not allowing dnL to have that, as of course that won't prevent them from getting a jungler since they already have one, but it does prevent them from putting together the Keeper Tempest combination, which is well known as extremely powerful. Just so much pushing potential with all those minions, two great AoE ultimates. They both have some, pretty good, even early presence. Keeper of the Forest, a little more passive in the jungle, doesn't really have the ability like Tempest to come out before level 6, but certainly can provide a lot in terms of team support with that Nature's Veil. Tempest a little more offensive, Glacial Blast, Meteor, which of course is not only good for doing damage, but cutting down some trees and making sure that the opposing team can't hide in them. So that's, a pretty underrated ability of his in order to, or just the ability to make sure that ganks are a little easier. It's harder to juke him because he has that Meteor to, alright, you're going to take these little pathways, try to hide, run away. Well, guess what? They're all gone. So good luck hiding in the open field of the map. Last pick over here for NK in this first picking stage is that Tundra. So Tundra, one of those heroes in my opinion. He does a bit of everything, and he doesn't do anything really, really well. He doesn't carry that hard. He's not the greatest ganker. He doesn't push super well, but he does push a little bit, especially with the minions and the piercing shards. Those do some damage and will help him both clean up creep waves and push a tower down a little bit, plus the Hawk coming out doing pushes will help you be a little more safe if the opposing team's coming in to oppose you, which is why they're called the opposing team. He ganks fairly well, especially with that portal key, which is usually a pretty common item on him. Avalanche Piercing Charge, usually not to kill a hero, but paired with another hero, they can obviously really typically burst down somebody in the opposition, so that's not bad. And then of course the vision from the Hawk is really, really, really good. And of course he doesn't carry all that well by himself, but as a second or third carry, really a second or third farmer, I guess is a better term for it, he does do very well. So giving them a little bit of utility here on the Legion side, probably going to run that Tundra mid. We'll see if they choose to run a Babysit Rhapsody with him. I suspect they won't. That's usually not the MO of Tundra. Doesn't need that babysit. So if we see a short lane farmer here on NK's side, and I suspect that's what's going to happen. Well, maybe not. They're banning out Gemini Moon Queen, so maybe they're not interested in doing that. Or maybe they're interested in banning out most of the carries and then taking one for themselves, so dnL can't grab one, so could be either one. Anyway, dnL's last two picks, Pharaoh and Gauntlet. Pharaoh, not that surprising considering they have Tempest in their team. Very often considered a strong counter to Tempest, of course, because that Wrath of the Pharaoh, superior magic, will stop a Tempest ultimate, even with a shrunken head. And of course the Hellfire does a little more to stop it. If for some reason Rat's down, he can put those mini suns up and sometimes even walk into the Tempest ultimate and still cancel it because those will go off. And the Mummy Walls, I believe, cancel it. I don't know, actually. But at the very least, another useful ability, certainly. Perhaps not as useful. I think Tundra's Cold Shoulder will get him out of those. And the Dance Floor on top of the Pharaoh walls actually is somewhat positive for the Legion team, as Pharaoh walls are very good at keeping people in place and then, of course, taking damage from the Dance Floor, but we'll see. Gauntlet, the final pick from them, so that's going to be run middle. We've seen some more solo mid gauntlets recently, but I'm not sure, exactly if that's what's going to happen here. It's possible. It's also possible they pick up a babysit support for him. In either case, Gauntlet obviously a very strong hero. Another way to cancel that Tempest ultimate, just need plenty of ways to do it, and of course the keeper route as well. Because if you get a great Tempest ultimate off, obviously that's pretty game changing. So we'll see what Insania Tempest is able to pull off in the face of all these cancels. Going to the second banning stage here, Gemini, Moon Queen, Wretched Hag from the boys over on NK, so really heavy on the carry bans, on the right-click carries. The short laners, Hag, of course, able to be run in any of those 3 lanes, but also very powerful as a short laner, and I think that's what Insania is going for here, with the bans not allowing the Hellblade team to pick up a short laner, as they certainly do still need one. Bubbles, Bubbles, Grinix, and Drunken Master here for Flensmeister on dnL, as they're more interested in getting suicides out. DM, another hero that can be run in multiple lanes, but he also does do well in the suicide, so certainly that takes away an option for Insania if he was looking for a suicide hero. Or it's 3 options gone really, as Bubbles and Grinix both obviously very often run that suicide. Grinix pretty much exclusively run that suicide. So interesting, Grinix very often banned in the first stage. This time he makes it through the first picking stage, but is banned in the second stage, so we're still not going to see him in this game. As both teams did have the opportunity to pick him up, but choosing to prioritize some other heroes over him. And I can't really fault them too much for that. I think he's a very strong hero, and he fits well with pretty much any lineup. But there are other strong heroes, and it's not like it's crazy if nobody gets him, if he's not banned out. CD, so as I suspected, it's we're going to ban all the carries except for one and take that one, and over there on dnL apparently feeling that Kronos is the answer to that question. And now I'm a little concerned by dnL actually, because they have 4 melee heroes, and especially not only with that, but with the Pharaoh Mummy Walls, that could actually prove difficult when it comes to dealing damage, because if the Mummy Walls aren't really, really good, or, I mean, Gauntlet might be able to hook inside of them as well, and of course Kronos has Time Leap to possibly get inside them, but if, I assume that's going to be VN Sensation on that Pharaoh playing the suicide role once again, if that isn't well set up, then we're going to see some difficulty when it comes to dealing damage, because Pharaoh Mummy Walls could actually cut off his own team from attacking a hero by putting them outside of those Mummy Walls. And for ranged heroes, it's not really a problem. For melee heroes, it is. So, interesting that they're choosing to go so heavy on the melee hero. I assume with a support last pick, possibly number 4, possibly Empath, Torturer is available. Actually, I think Torturer is going to be... Empath. That's fine too. Certainly Empath-Kronos combination. Nothing to be... to wave a finger at. And you're like, oh, whatever, that's not a big deal. But now with only one ranged hero over on the side of dnL, it's a little curious whether those Mummy Walls are going to be helpful or hurt them. Last pick over here on the Legion side, Witch Slayer, actually Hack's going to be playing that, as obviously that will be the short lane farmer, so I expect this is, well, could either be Rhapsody mid or Rhapsody short lane. See, now I'm really confused, because, okay, Zibby's playing the Corrupt Disciple, so this is going to be a Suicide Corrupted, going up against this Kronos. And at this point, I would like to see Empath babysitting Kronos, because I think with the Suicide Corrupted, Kronos needs that, otherwise the Conduit's going to steal all his damage, and then he's not going to be able to last hit. And even with Keeper, especially with Keeper in the jungle, a passive jungler, Kronos isn't going to get so much support unless Empath is there with him. So they pretty much need to run this Empath short lane and put Gauntlet mid solo. And Legion team should figure that out and put Witch Slayer solo bot and Rhapsody Tundra middle, which would effectively shut down this Gauntlet. We'll see, actually. Last game, Probusk on that gauntlet was able to play extremely well and get a lot of CS despite being lane 1v2. And eventually, he was even with farm after one kill, and usually when that's what happens, like, you've done pretty well. So if you can get one gank coming in, then and turn that into an even farm game and in 1v2 lane, and then of course you have the level advantage, that's usually a good job done. So we'll see if the same thing happens this game, but yes, it looks like Hackswing's going to go solo bot, CD's going to head top, and actually CD might head top with Rhapsody, which again, that's not a bad decision either. It's a little interesting. I think I might prefer that Suicide CD, a pure Suicide CD, and put Rhapsody middle, but we'll see if that's exactly actually what they do. And it sort of looks like we're gonna see a man-up dual lane here. As no surprise, Kronos and Empath up here on top. They really have to make sure that this potential Suicide Kronos or even dual lane is not going to just completely box Kronos out of the lane, because they can't let that happen, essentially. On bottom, Witchslayer versus Pharaoh. So Witchslayer should have a pretty good time down here, but Pharaoh almost certainly won't die. Even though he doesn't really have a true escape mechanism, the Mummy Walls and Witchslayer's relatively low move speed, and the fact that he's mostly, sitting on CC tools to help his teammates out rather than deal direct damage himself, is going to mean that he's likely not going to be able to get too many kills on Pharaoh, even when he hits level 6 with that silver bullet. Unless there's a significant amount of harass on the Pharaoh, he's just not going to be able to do enough damage. Pharaoh's a little too tanky. One of the reasons, of course, he's running that suicide roll. As the Grade Bear Sun there actually misses Pharaoh. I assume he meant to hit him, along with grabbing that CS. But Hackswing doing very well in CS so far down here, and that's what he's going to need to do. Just missing his first one right there. But so far, hitting everything else. Mid lane is going to be Tundra versus Gauntlet, and I think Gauntlet should have a slight advantage here. Tundra is going to have to be pretty wary about any auto attacks Gauntlet puts in, because Gauntlet has significantly more burst damage than Tundra does. And of course, if he gets hooked in under the tower, that could be a serious problem for Tundra. Just taking the Infernal Instability slow and the Enfeeble and stuff like that could end up getting a kill if he's a little low to begin with. So it should go slightly in favor of dnL down here. And up top, Rhapsody and Corrupted Disciple versus Kronos and Empath should go in favor of the Legion team, actually, because Keeper's not really able to help out in the early game. The dual ranged up here, and then the harass, there you go, staccato stuns, are going to be an issue for Kronos when he comes up trying to take CS, and CD won't have nearly as much of a problem grabbing CS off the lane. So Kronos getting a couple of creep kills right there, and of course their pull is blocked, so they're going to need to unblock that as soon as possible. But not doing so just yet. Still a walking courier down here as Gauntlet heads for the top rune. He does have a bottle on there. Grabs a haste. So 2 bottles on there. I believe 1 is for bot lane. I hope, at least. Yes. So Kronos does grab, Pharaoh does grab a bottle as well. That's going to help him out a lot in bot. So I hope he's just throwing out that Tormented Soul, doing a ton of harassment on Witchslayer. Of course, that will tend to push up the lane a little bit against him, but right now he has a pretty significant degree of lane control. Witchslayer forced to take a health pot already. Kronos still has 2 Tree Eaters, as the mana drain comes out a little bit, helping to take some mana away from that Pharaoh. Middle lane, we've got LesQQ on Tundra at 284 gold per minute, Probusk at 283, so now 300, so slightly in favor of Gauntlet here, no surprise. Up top, Kronos is getting a bunch of damage. Conduit is on him, and now Empath's actually in some trouble too, as Corrupted will chase her down with those very strong auto attacks. 7 charges on that Conduit, up to 88 to 92 damage, so he's going to have some good time CSing right here, because he's got lots and lots of damage. Dance Floor goes out once more, as just going to heal him up a little bit. Up on top, we have that CD at 11 and 5 compared to Kronos at 15 and 5, so Kronos actually winning the CS battle here. That's a little surprising. Rhapsody's at 0 and 0, so no denies for her. Meanwhile, Empath has 3, 4. That's rather interesting there that Kronos is able to get so much CS in this lane. One would normally think that he'd just get harassed out. On the other hand, he has no regen left, CD still has Tree Eaters, just one of them, but he still has it. Empath still has Tree Eaters herself, 3, and Rhapsody's got nothing. So actually the regen battle here is also won by Hellborn. I don't know actually if they brought more than Legion did. I didn't look at that in the beginning, but one would think that over here on Legion's side that they should win the CS battle, but they are not. That they should be doing really a better job of forcing their opponents out lane, but once again, not happening. Chronos, no surprise, out-leveling everybody, because he is a melee hero, so he doesn't take as much reduced experience from denies. But that's not even that big a deal, because he's getting plenty of last hits here. Tide comes out, doing some harassment, and Keeper is level 6. Perhaps he's still level 3, so Keeper over here on the side of denial leveling real quick, and now CD's in a ton of trouble. Yeah, he's going to die here. Staccato stun's there, but still plenty of damage, and there goes Zibe. So, pretty good wall there, too, from support. What a surprise. Support's playing Empath, and he puts good wall down. Hacks are out leveling Pharaoh a little bit down here. He is at 32 and 3 compared to 27 and 0 from Pharaoh. So Pharaoh actually doing pretty well. Hacks are doing even better, 321 gold per minute. That's got to be pretty close to perfect CS. Which isn't that surprising, as it seems like Pharaoh is mostly interested in taking CS of Zonia's 0 denies compared to 29 creep kills now. So he's more concerned about his own farm than he is about making sure Haxor doesn't get anything. Bot lane gonna spawn a rune, and Pharaoh will get it as Witch Slayer decides, nope, not worth it. He does have bottle in fact, so that's good. But Haste Rune gonna be popped real fast, as Tundra is now in some trouble in the middle. There's the Wrath of Pharaoh coming in, and there's the Mummy Walls? No. Just a Health Flower, but Tundra's going to fall. So nice gank there from VN Sensation, picking up a kill onto Tundra. Rhapsody ports in, but way too late. Much too quick a kill onto Les QQ in the middle lane. So, early lead now coming up for the Hellborn side as they pick off not only the first blood, but a second kill in middle as well, onto 2 farmers actually, which does quite a bit in their favor. Gauntlet now the top farmer in the game, followed by Witch Slayer, followed by Keeper of the Forest, and Pharaoh. So, Hellborn possessing 3 of the top 4 farmers in the game, as they are off to a 1k gold lead and a 500 experience lead. So really not that big a lead in either category, even for 7 minutes into this game, where a lead matters more, considering there are fewer resources that have been farmed yet. So if you have a lead, then it's as a percentage of the total resources available, it's larger. So in general, been fairly passive so far. 2 hero kills at 7 minutes into this game. Chronos once again going to be in this top lane by himself, as Rhapsody looks to go pull. But he doesn't care too much, and he really shouldn't. He has level 3 time leap, so that's going to provide plenty of distance for him to get away. Even with Scato Stuns, Corrupted Disciple, Conduit, and Electric Tide, I don't think they have the damage to burst him down. And now he's got the Chrono Field on top of that, as he hits level 6. He is down at 229 GPM, 230 right there, so the 4th best farmer on his own team actually, as both Gauntlet and Keeper of Forest are doing very well. Pharaoh in some trouble down here as well, as we're going to see some coming out. Nope, Mummy Walls, there's the Graveyard Stun. Pharaoh looking for initiation here, but no Tempest Ultimate, as Chronos is in fact going to come in. Glacial Blast on top of him. He's going to take a bunch of harass here, but not enough. As actually, he was not out of vision for that other stun. Chrono feels like if the extra drop here, this is double tap. Nope, instead it's going to be Tempest Ultimate. Chronos is in a ton of trouble here. He actually is not going to fall. Nope. Oh, it is. Wow. Nice gank there from Tundra, as both Haxor and Tempest were dead. So I don't understand why it took so long over there for the Chrono Field to get dropped, but I don't know, Funzmeister feeling like for some reason he couldn't do it earlier. A little strange. I think he had the mana. I don't think that was the issue, but I mean, Haxor was right there. Maybe he didn't see him. He must have, because he was attacking, but bit interesting there. So up top, Empath can take a ton of harass from the creep wave as she tries to prevent as much damage coming out on the tower as possible. But now she's a little low herself. Clean up a CS on that Ballista, as 4 heroes from the Hellborn side and 3 from the Legion side are coming in top. And it looks like we're going to see a big clash. Tormented Soul going to come out and spot Witch Slayer, as we see just so much coming in. Keeper Root is available. He has Nature's Spell, Wrath of Pharaoh onto Witch Slayer, and the well, support just completely gets annihilated by that Haxorus ultimate. So that Silver Bullet, man. Where's the root? There it is. On to 3 heroes really there, but not enough to burst down Soul Stealer. Piercing Charge will kill Zlap. Gauntlet button up, and finally to kill Soul Stealer. Staccato Sun's onto him, and he will fall with So Will Probus, or Tank Effect. Moonwell's coming out to try to slow down Corrupted Disciple, but that's not going to do enough. Chronos in the back, not really able to do anything. I need your aid. And now he finally comes back in. He has time leave available, so he's not in too much trouble. Looking to kill this Corrupted. There's the slow, and now he's in a ton of trouble. And he will fall. I believe there's a buyback on being sensational on that Pharaoh, yeah. No, it was not. What the hell? Did he not? Did he just, like, pot up or something?
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Okay, so meanwhile, Insane on Tank Event takes bot tower, so I'd say that's a reasonably favorable engagement for the Hellborn side. They killed the opposing team's primary carry and Corrupted Disciple, as well as the short laner and Haxorus. They didn't lose Chronos. They didn't lose Pharaoh. They really only lost Empath and Gauntlet, I believe. Or did Keeper die there too? Yeah, I think Keeper died as well. Yes, Keeper did die. But in exchange, they took 3 heroes. Rhapsody, Witch Slayer, and CD, so slightly in their favor of the Hellborn, I think. As in middle, Witch Slayer once again getting initiated on Gauntlet Blast on attack. This Chrono Field on both of them. Avalanche actually on Chronos. That's going to prevent a lot of damage there, as Witch Slayer still has plenty of health. Graveyard Son on Chronos, since he's going to fall. And Hellborn's still chasing though, so as the Keeper minions come out. But Tank Effect's here on Rhapsody, looking for some Staccato Suns onto somebody probably. Nope. Keeper really wants the invis. He's got it. Hook back in to save him a little bit. Actually, a wall comes out blocking Rhapsody from doing anything, and now she's dead. No! Oh god, she's gonna live. Empath jumping inside a gauntlet as she's looking for something. There's the root gonna kill Tank Effect, so that's nice. And Bleds QQ is also gonna fall, so as actually the Hellborn team was in some danger, but the CD now gonna be trapped by the mummy walls and almost gonna kill Pharaoh, not quite. CD's in a ton of trouble actually, as Gauntlet still here has plenty of health. Wall coming out, gonna trap him in. Very well done. And there's Pharaoh, and there we go. So Zibby falls as well. Very strong cleanup here for the Hellborn side as they lose nobody and take 3 heroes, Tank Effect and Zibbe and Let's QQ on that Rhapsody, Corrupted, and Tundra. So dnL taking the lead right back as Legion had a couple of decent picks in lane, but dnL been winning really 2 engagements there, now up to a 1k gold lead and nearly a 2k experience lead as Insania continues to farm the jungle. Zlap and his Keeper really doing a very good job, I think. Came in top. He was level 6 when the others, the opposing players were level 3. So a root, I think, that was somewhat unexpected. That quickly, really, he just farmed so freaking fast. 350 gold per minute now, the second highest farm in the game, behind Probusk on that gauntlet. Has 4 kills, so that can be somewhat excused. And it looks like dnL's in a solid position here, not really in an overwhelmingly positive situation, obviously. 1k gold lead, that's pretty easy to swing in the midst of half a team fight, but anything you can do to take a lead. As up top, Chronos and CD are reforming that lane. Tank Effect up here as well. The lane ward's going to spot him out, so there's not going to be any surprise as to whether he's there or not. In middle, Tundra Hawk going to spot out Empath, but she will try to kill it. Hook coming in onto Tundra, but the wall's actually down now thanks to support using a little earlier to kill the bird. And it looks like Legion side's grouping up for a push here. Tormented Soul is going to spot a bunch of them out, though. Haxorus and Insania on this Tempest, and Witch Slayer both going to be seen. They might have been already, but Rhapsody is going to show herself. Piercing Charge doing a bunch of damage to Empath there, as it looks like Legion side's looking for a group up and push. And this mid tower is in a lot of trouble. Tormented Soul Snipe gonna come out and do a bunch of damage to the Tempest Elementals, but Rhapsody dance floor, and there goes Probuskin in with the Gauntlet Blast on top of Tempest, but the Glacial Blast there. Empath gets inside of Gauntlet.
The
Frost
goes.
actually killed Kronos there. Wrath of the Pharaoh onto Tundra. Tower's denied, and now Tundra's in a ton of trouble. He's not going to do anything. Actually, his nice Rhapsody ultimate down there. His Tempest ultimate hits everybody. Root does not cancel it. Flamesmeister and VN Sensation both fall. Probuskin's next. Support's in a ton of trouble. He's going to die. Nice Staccato Stones. Huge misplay from Zlapt right there, as the Root does not cancel the Tempest ultimate. And, oh god, it must have been just out of range. So that Root effectively did nothing, as they were just locked down. A lot of the Legion heroes were locked down, so they couldn't do damage to people inside the Tempest ultimate, but the Tempest ult held everybody else in place, so they couldn't run away, and they eventually just got cleaned up. As Legion now will take that and turn into a big advantage. 4k gold, 3k experience, secondary tower kill in mid. As Laps must have been so close. Just out of range. That's painful. So Les QQ will clean up some creeps here in the Hellborn jungle, take some resources away, always a good idea. It looks like there's a lot of vision over here, as support for some reason is super concerned about Kongor and the rune. It feels like. Interesting wording there. And of course a lane ward up here, but nothing in the top river or in their Hellborn jungle, so if the Legion side comes even through, they can come straight through the middle river, go into the Hellborn jungle, and the Hellborn would have no idea. And Keepers here. Gonna get spotted out, I think. But there goes the Ancient's Veil, and Cold actually Piercing Shards clean up a bunch of the opposing Keeper minions, and finishes off that stacked camp as well with the Electric Tide. As Legion's looking for somewhat of a push up here. Portal Key on Tundra. So that's a good time. It's as good a time as any for items. Tundra with that Bottle Steam gets Portal Key now, Power Supply. Corrupted Disciple, as actually its mid tower is going to get pushed in, and they're looking to defend it here on the Legion side. 3 heroes coming in here: Insania, Corrupted Disciple, and Tundra. Electric Tide comes out, going to help clear up some of the creep waves.
I need your aid.
Hawk will get spotted here by this Chronos going to port, and Empath going to jump top. Rhapsody in some trouble. There's a Chrono Field on top of a wall. Staccato Stuns are going to be here, but is that really going to be enough? Wow. They do not seem sure whether they want to kill this Rhapsody, so that's not happy. Empath ultimate, Chrono Field blown to try to kill a solo Rhapsody, and they don't. Not only do they not get it, they didn't even do that much damage to her. She wasn't exactly down to 1 hit point. I think some miscommunication coming out there. The wall and the Chrono Field were stacked, and if they weren't, then that was a kill. Meanwhile, Empath is over here, I think, gonna see Insania in here on this Tempest, but no mana to do really much of anything, and it looks like the Hellborn side might have to back off and let this tower fall, as it is relatively low. They are going to pull a creep wave in a little bit, for some reason. Whatever. But this is definitely going to be a top tower kill. That's the Tempest minions are a little too powerful there.
The Legion had destroyed
Les
the
QQ apparently
Hellborn
didn't get the
Tower.
message. And Insania clearly trying to let the tower fall to
The
creeps
Hellborn had destroyed
to
a
split
Legion
the
tower.
experience, but he said, I want that gold. Or maybe he was giving it to Les QQ, you never know. Anyway, Legion side items: Energizer, Firebrand, Steam Boots on Corrupted Disciple, so he's fast. Lots of ports coming here, bot tower, and they're going to try to do something here. Keeper and take the Hex, and a Dust, and a Graveyard Stun. Meteor as well, Glacial Blast, he's in a ton of trouble, and going to fall. Nope, there it is.
That felt good, didn't it?
It looked like Silver Bullet was about to come out, and they were like, ah, well, maybe not. And it turns out, of course, they didn't need it, so good, they're saving that cooldown. So they managed to get the 9-bot tower. Pickoff on does lock on that keeper. Gauntlet's in some trouble here as that fast as hell Corrupted Disciple is chasing him down. He's going to put the Gauntlet Blast down though and run away. Avalanche available for Tundra, but Gauntlet's just fine with his own portal key. So Witchlayer also has a portal key, Steam Boots, Amulet of Exile, and a bottle. So lots of initiation here on the Legion side with the 2 portal keys plus Corrupted's extreme speed. Rhapsody with Steam Boots of her own, Mystic Vestments, Wards, Dust, Port, so typical support items. Nice that she has upgraded boots. Tempest, Steam Boots, Ring of the Teacher, Ring of Sorcery, Push Book, and Mystic Vestments. So once again, going for that utility Tempest build. Lots of mana regen for himself and his teammates, which is real nice because there's a lot of spammable abilities here on the Legion side. Witchlayer, Corrupted Disciple, Tundra, even Rhapsody have a bunch of stuff that they like to use as often as possible. So having Tempest there to help them keep up their mana is certainly very beneficial. It's a team game. That's what you do. So there goes bot Legion Tower on the, or Hellborn Tower. Bot Hellborn Tower. And it looks like the Legion side's not interested in stopping. As they're coming in here for the base, going to force some ports out here on the side of the Hellborn. With Slapped in middle, and Flensmeister takes out top tower. So all Tier 1 towers dead for the Legion team, but Hellborn only have one secondary tower left themselves. And a little bit of tower damage done there, but it looks like Legion's going to back off and choose to go home. Certainly not a bad decision. Over here we have Zibe farming up the creep wave a little bit. It's still weird. I expect to say Haxorant because, he's usually their short lane carry player, but this is in fact Zibe. Middle gonna get pushed in a little bit. Keeper Dog's gonna distract the creep wave while the actual creep wave does as much damage to the tower as possible. It's gonna be actually pretty significant with the journey that they're going on, thanks to these animated trees. This mid tower is in some trouble. It's not gonna die, but it's gonna get a little close. So finally thinking about my Rhapsody coming in here to clean this up. Zibe is going to get initiated on, but he's a little too far away now. Oh, Wrath just missing. Oh my god. He was literally like 200 units away from that. He actually, he had a perfect angle, it was just too short. That's painful. So, Insania's porting somewhere, back to base in fact, as the Legion don't want to take this mid-engagement anymore, realizing, oh, they already have the tower down, there's no point fighting this because we can't take a tower in base yet, so it's not really sensible. Over at Hellborn side, items, Energizer, Steam Boots, Iron Shield, Mystic Vestments for Kronos, so he has 313 gold per minute. That seems awfully light. So he also does have 2k gold saved up, so maybe that's part of it, but it feels like there should be more there. And maybe there is. I don't know if he's something in the courier. He doesn't. Maybe in the stash. Who knows? Can't see. Pharaoh, Barbed Armor, Grave Locket, Bottle, Steam Boots, and Mystic Vestments. So clearly going the I'm going to initiate but you can't touch me lane. As they're pausing for some reason. Trying to kill that hawk, man. But haha, we have auto skip pause turned on, so I don't care about your pauses, even though I think that would have been a short one. Immediate pause and unpause because it seems like whatever support problems support was having were pretty much immediately fixed. As speaking of support, he's got Striders, 2 kinds of wards, and some regen, Minor Totem, and a port, so not too much there for him. 140 GPM. Compared to actually Tankovit's got 215, so he's farming quite well. All those tower kills really help a brother out. But really, I think doing everything you can to keep wards up. As you can see, there are a lot of them. They're everywhere. They got wards of sight and wards of rep all over the map. It's kind of insane. As usually, even 140 gold per minute or whatever on the sports, usually at 23 minutes is enough to have upgraded boots, have a little more than what he's got, so he's clearly just going all in on the wards. So good for him, being that supportive of his teammates. Gauntlet now with a bottle portal key puzzle box. A little interesting there. I'm not sure the last time I saw a Gauntlet puzzle box build, but possibly to counter the amount of AoE damage that's coming out. You know, sometimes these heroes in the Legion side can do damage and they can't stop. So if that Mauler's up and they kill it, that's a whole bunch of damage they take. So it's very possible he's going to pop that, run it into the Tempest ultimate, and see if somebody kills it. Deal a bunch of damage to them. Keeper of the Forest with a Astrolabe Ring, the Sorcery Ring of Teacher, and plated Greaves. So no portal key for him just yet. 1,430 gold saved up, so I assume that's going to be his next item. Trying to make sure that he can stop that Tempest ultimate. As Legion's interested in pushing this mid tower. And they have all 5 grouped up. Chronos in the bot lane. Actually, Empath going to get caught out here, and she will fall. So I don't know what she was doing over there. Oh, that was a hook. That's what happened. And that's what she was over the ledge for. And that's going to be a mid-tower push now as Chronos does port back in, but we'll see when or where or if he chooses to initiate. I think Rap's standing off to the side, trying to make sure that she can staccato stun that Chronos for as long as he has the Chrono Field. Same thing with the Avalanche from Tundra. Puzzle box coming out from Gauntlet, so we'll see what that does. Mauler's going to die here to the Tempest Elementals. That's not nearly as effective as the strategy of, hey, I'm going to run this in your face and you can either kill it or it's going to do much damage to you. Yep. But it's the creep wave, haha, that kills it. The ballista takes a ton of damage. Empath is back up, so we'll see if Legion continue to push this. The tower's nearly dead. And they're feeling adventurous here. Creep waves, or creeps coming in from Keeper, stopping these Tempest Elementals a little bit, but the tower's now in deny range. Ballista's gonna fall. And it looks like Legion might just back up here and say, alright, you can either deny that tower or we're going to come back later and kill it relatively easily. But Legion team clearly continuing, or content to back up off this mid and farm the jungle a little bit. Maybe not. Zibe's in the jungle, but that's it. Tormented Soul going to snipe some people out, and of course they have the Word of Sight here, so, or there. So they know what's going on here. This sort of fake fallback is not going to be very effective. And so it looks like that's going to turn into a real fallback. So Legion team done with their mid push. That's always nice, you know, when you can just be like, we're going to sit here and siege your tower and nearly kill it, and nobody's ever going to be in any real danger, and you're not going to get any kills. And we're going to get a kill. So certainly one engagement there for the Legion side. Dealing some damage to a base tower there. And as we approach 30 minutes, they have expanded their lead to 6.5k gold and 9.5k experience. So pretty well ahead in this game so far. And on bottom, there's initiation onto Haxorn over here. Barbara going to go off on top of Pharaoh, but now he's going to be in trouble because there it goes now. It's not Witchslayer ultimate, and he's dead. Finally. So Rhapsody in some trouble, Infernal Instability, but there's the Avalanche on top of Gauntlet, and Chronos jumped back in here. Rhapsody ultimate, they're going to do a bunch. Gauntlet Blast going to hit 2, actually, as Chronos is in a ton of trouble. Going to take all this. Oh, nice Tempest ultimate. Not going to be stopped. There goes Chronos, and hook in onto Gauntlet with Empath inside of him, but or onto Tundra, but actually now going to try to support out. Not going to happen. His support is canceled, and Gauntlet's in a ton of trouble, and Rhapsody will be as well as she pops right out. Dance Floor going to go down here, but she is not going to get out, and that's the game.
Legion wins. Genocide.
So, actually, an interesting decision to choose to end it there. But apparently Hellborn just feeling that this wasn't worth coming back from, or they weren't going to be able to come back from it. It's not like they lost to fight at base and then lost a bunch of racks or something like that. I'm not sure that was going to turn into necessarily a game-ending fight, but you know, they're like, oh well, we were up 1-0. We didn't work out this game. things didn't work out this game, I should say, but it's gonna be pretty much it. The guys over there on MK doing pretty well in the beginning, taking a nice mid-game lead and turning that into a solid victory. So that's going to be it for Game 2, and we'll move on to Game 3.